Yes, hey guys, this is David from Instant Flight Review and welcome back to another video. As you can see here, this one is about the ICAO English Proficiency Test for Level 6. It's an experience report from my perspective. I have recently taken the test and I just want to share my experience about this with you out there. Okay, so in order to do that, I would like to discuss the following questions here with you. So first we have the topics of the test, okay, what it consists of and what you can expect in general. What kind of testing environment you can expect if you decide to take it. How long the entire test will last, okay, the duration of it. How you can prepare for this test. And what is important for the test, okay, English or pilot knowledge. So we'll discuss that in the next few minutes. So let's start right here with question number 1. So what are the topics of the test? What does it consist of? So it's divided into 4 separate sections, okay. Number 1, we have the introduction. Basically, I would say this is a warm-up session in which you are required to introduce yourself, maybe tell something about your aviation background, something to get you talking, to warm you up, okay, to make you feel comfortable, hopefully, and so on. Maybe around 5 to 10 minutes, okay. Second, you will get a picture, maybe more, I don't know. There was 2 pictures in my case that I had to talk about. Maybe you have to compare them, that may be the case. It's basically like being back in 5th or 6th grade of school, describing pictures, okay, of course in English. Third part is a presentation. Presentation means you, or in my case, I had to choose between 3 different topics. And on one of these topics that I decided to take, I had to talk about or elaborate on, okay? For example, if I would ask you, please tell me something about aviation safety or airport safety, engines, something that's aviation related, okay? So that's a few minutes, okay? Maybe again 5 to 10 or so, depending on how much you have to say, unless the examiner would interrupt you or something like that, okay? It didn't happen in my case, but yeah, just that you know. Fourth and last part already is the listening comprehension. Again, it's like school stuff. You will have to listen to a few minutes of a podcast. And at the very end, I was required to give the examiner a summary of this podcast, and eventually he would also ask me some questions about it. Okay, not too big of a deal. Just try to listen some podcasts up front, so to get you ready for that. The podcast, by the way, was in British English, okay, which is the standard, of course. So let's go ahead and talk about the next question. So what kind of testing environment can you expect? Now this one really depends on what kind of test you go for, I guess, and the testing facility itself. Nowadays you have the option to do it either online with some companies that provide this opportunity, or in person. I went for an in-person examination, so I had to deal with 2 examiners, where one was the guy who gave me instructions, what I had to do, listen to me, talk to me, eventually ask me questions, and the other person was the listener only. So she would just listen to me, my English skills, and so on and so forth. So I guess if you go for an in-person, you will probably have 2 examiners, maybe more, who knows, okay? I haven't done online, so I do not have experience with that, but I can imagine that to be 1 person only. And I don't know how long that will last. Again, you can do this exam online and in person, okay? How long does this entire test go for? Prior to taking the test or the test day, I was sent an email with all required information, and they gave me a time frame of 45 to 60 minutes. And I think it really depends on how fast your progress is throughout the test. They're not going to hurry you or something, they're not going to push you. It just depends. When you have one part finished, you just go to the next one, and so on and so forth. However, 45 to 60 minutes I think is more than enough to do the test. I'm sure it will not take longer than that. So after you have each of these parts completed, the 2 examiners will discuss that with each other, while you have to leave the room, of course, for a few minutes. They call you back in, and then they will let you know about the results, what they think, okay? Yeah, so all in all, 45 to 60 minutes. You may be done quicker, but it's definitely doable in that time. Yeah, so that's all about the test duration. Okay, don't worry, it won't take forever. That's a good question here, I think. What's more important for this test? Is it your English knowledge or skills or your pilot knowledge? One thing that was made clear before the test, also in that email I got, was that this exam is first and foremost on your English skills. Okay, it's not about what you know as a pilot regarding technical stuff or something like that. No, they really judge your English skills, how you say things, not what you say. So it's more about how you say it rather than what you say. Okay. However, it's a pilot test, so I guess it does make sense, or it is a good idea to know pilot vocabulary or pilot jargon, as you say, as this is a pilot test and you will be exposed or confronted with pilot situations. Okay, so in that case, I think it just makes sense and a good idea to know something about pilot vocabulary or flying aviation vocabulary. I guess you guys know what I mean. So English is the biggest deal for this test, okay? So let's go to the very last part here. How to prepare for this particular test. I have done a lot of research myself before I decided to take a test. Unfortunately, I was a bit disappointed as there's very little information available online. I checked out YouTube, other pages, aviation, pilot blogs, all that stuff. You're mostly presented with level 4 or 5 English stuff only. Also the books are mostly about or mostly for English level 4, maybe 5. The only thing that I was reading more than once was regarding level 6. You either are level 6 or you're not. Okay, and what they mean by that, as this test is mostly about your English skills in general. It's about how much English you can speak, how comfortable you feel, your vocabulary knowledge, your fluency, grammatical structure of sentences, basically English speaking. So that said, I think the best practice to pass level 6 is talk, talk, talk. And if you have been exposed to the English language over an extended period of time, maybe you have been abroad for studies, maybe some or all of your aviation training has been in a country where English is the native language, such as the US, the UK, Australia, or other parts, okay, where you speak English. That's probably the best way to prepare for this. So if that's the case with you, I think you do not have to worry. Other than that, I personally decided to buy a book though, although I feel comfortable with English. I just want to make sure I go through the test safely and I pass this level. Yeah, so listen to radio, talk, talk, talk if you have the chance to. And if you think you feel comfortable, just, I would say, give it a try. Other than that, listen to radio podcasts, watch TV, English TV, aviation articles. But listening is a good part and a good practice also for the listening comprehension, okay? Another thing I would like to mention at this point, there are many facilities. I don't know if it's a general thing, at least the one that I went to. They say that if you go for 6 or a level higher than 4, and you will not meet these requirements for this particular level you're going for, they will issue you the level that you're next to, okay, or the one that you meet, where you meet all the requirements for. So that said, we have come to the end of this video here already. I hope it was helpful. I will also provide you with some links regarding the book, as well as some testing facilities that I became aware of doing my research. Also, I'm not being paid for this, okay? I just decided to share this information with you. There's not a lot of information present about these ICAO English tests, maybe for a reason, but I think it's okay to share this much about the test so that you will know what to expect, sort of, okay? So again, that said, I hope it was helpful. I hope you liked the video. If you do so, of course, I would appreciate your thumbs up. And other than that, feel free to ask me any questions if you like, post it down below the video or directly via my webpage, contact me if you like to. Okay, so thanks for watching, good luck for your test. Again, I'm David from Inch and Fly Review. See you later, bye bye.